In the world of technology, $2 billion usually buys you a seat at the table. But in January 2026, Mark Zuckerberg found out that even a multi-billion-dollar check can't always bypass the Great Wall of digital sovereignty. Last month, Meta made its third largest acquisition in history, Manus AI. It was supposed to be the crown jewel of Meta's shift from AI that talks to AI that acts. But just as the ink was drying, Beijing pulled the ultimate Uno reverse card. Today, we're breaking down the investigation that has paralyzed one of the biggest tech deals of the decade. This isn't just a corporate merger. It's a geopolitical chess match where the prize is the world's first truly autonomous digital employee. To understand why Beijing is fighting so hard to keep its hand on this tech, we have to look under the hood. While the world was obsessed with large language models that could talk, the team behind Manus, a group that traces its lineage back to the butterfly effect startup in Wuhan, was building what they call the execution layer. In the technical world, we call this agentic AI. Most AI today is a brain in a box. It can tell you how to write a Python script, but it can't open a terminal, install the dependencies, debug the errors, and deploy it to a server while you sleep. Manus can. In early 2025, it achieved state-of-the-art results on the Gaia benchmark, a grueling test of real-world problem-solving that leaves even GPT-4 in the dust. While standard models scored around 30% on complex, multi-tool tasks, Manus-powered agents were pushing past 65%, operating within a secure Linux sandbox to navigate the web, just like a human power user. Manus isn't just one model. It's a multi-agent orchestrator. It leverages the best models for their specific strengths, using Claude for logic and Qwen for specialized tasks. It uses a strategist agent to plan, an execution agent to act, and a critic agent to verify. For Meta, this is the missing link. Zuckerberg has poured tens of billions into the Llama ecosystem, but Manus provides the high-margin software layer that can be sold to millions of businesses as an autonomous digital workforce. To understand why Beijing is furious, you have to look at where Manus came from. Manus wasn't born in a Silicon Valley garage. It emerged from a Chinese startup called Butterfly Effect, also known as Monica.im, with roots deep in Beijing and Wuhan. In March 2025, Manus shocked the industry by launching one of the most advanced general-purpose AI agents publicly demonstrated. Unlike ChatGPT, which waits for you to ask a question, Manus is built to execute. You don't just ask it for a travel plan. It books the flights, reserves the hotel, and handles the logistics without a second prompt. But then, a move critics describe as Singapore washing, though the company has said it was for international expansion. By mid-2025, Manus shifted its core team to Singapore, laid off its China-based staff, and wiped its Chinese social media presence. It was a textbook move to escape regulatory scrutiny and attract Western capital. It worked at first. Benchmark Capital led a $75 million round, and by December, Meta came knocking with a $2 billion offer. Why did Meta want Manus so badly? Because 2025 was the year of agentic AI. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg and his new AI leadership team recognized that the next frontier isn't a chatbot. It's a personal superintelligence that can run your business, manage your ads, and even write its own code. Manus reportedly reached tens of millions in annualized revenue, according to industry sources. It was processing trillions of tokens at scale and showing strong performance in certain real-world task benchmarks. For Meta, this was the shortcut to dominating the $200 billion AI agent market. But Meta's troubles aren't just coming from the east. As Beijing closes in from one side, Washington is closing in from the other. This deal has become the first major test of the Outbound Investment Transparency Act, a piece of legislation championed by Senator John Cornyn. The U.S. Treasury Department is now investigating whether American capital, specifically the $75 million from Benchmark, was used to supercharge an AI company that still maintains deep technical ties to Chinese researchers. Under the new Outbound Investment Security Program, OISP, that became effective on January 2, 2025, the Treasury has the authority to issue severe penalties for noncompliance, similar to those found in OFAC sanctions. Specifically, if a transaction is found to involve prohibited technologies from a country of concern, the U.S. government can move beyond fines to mandate the full divestment or winding down of the acquisition to prevent national security leaks. This marks a radical shift in 2026, where the reverse CFIUS powers essentially allow Washington to reach back and unravel deals that were finalized before the regulations were even fully dry. For the U.S., the fear is that Meta is essentially importing a Trojan horse of Chinese-developed algorithms into the heart of American social media infrastructure. Washington is demanding to know, if the code was written in Wuhan, does Meta actually own it? Or does the Chinese Communist Party have a backdoor into the autonomous agents that will soon be managing American businesses? This has turned the $2 billion acquisition into a regulatory no man's land, where neither superpower wants the other to have control over the brains of the future economy. But on January 8, 2026, the music stopped. China's Ministry of Commerce announced a formal investigation into the deal. The charge? Potential violations of export control laws. Beijing is looking at whether the Singapore move was a legal loophole to bypass national security reviews on critical technology transfers. The Uno reverse is simple. If the core IP of Manus was developed on Chinese soil using Chinese talent, Beijing argues they have the right to block the sale. They aren't just worried about losing a company, they are terrified of a brain drain. If Meta is allowed to buy Manus, every other Chinese AI startup might try to Singapore wash their way out of the country, draining off China's best algorithms to Menlo Park. This probe has created a digital iron curtain. In Washington, Senator John Cornyn and the Treasury Department are already investigating the initial U.S. investments into Manus. In Beijing, regulators are questioning if an export license should have been obtained before the tech ever left Wuhan. Meta is caught in a pincer movement. They wanted Manus to be the engine for agentic ads and autonomous DM assistance on Instagram. Instead, the deal is now a case study in algorithmic sovereignty. The shocking reality of 2026 is that the internet is already becoming a ghost town. With a growing share of internet traffic now automated, according to multiple security reports, the integration of agents like Manus into Meta's ecosystem could either save the platform or drown it in fake interaction. If Beijing blocks this deal, it's a massive blow to Meta's 2026 roadmap. It sends a clear message to the world. In the AI race, the steel and the horses are the algorithms, and China isn't going to let their best stable be bought out by the competition without a fight. The era of the lone prototype is over. We are now in the era of standardized autonomous warfare, not just on the battlefield, but in the boardroom. China's investigation into the Meta-Manus deal is a proof of concept. It shows that in the 2020s, the winner isn't decided by who has the most money, but by whose government can keep the kill chain of innovation within its own borders. What do you think? Is Beijing right to protect its AI crown jewels, or is this just another hurdle that will slow down the future of technology? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates from the front lines of the AI war.